Hello, so welcome to my first YouTube video that is kind of showing you how I work. Of course, this video shows me um, working at 4 times my normal speed. And the piece I'm working on here is actually a pet portrait of a white bunny. This was a service that I offered for a charity online market in order to raise funds for this local animal rescue called the Animal Lovers League. And so I was offering pet portraits because it definitely seemed in line with services that pet owners would appreciate. So I usually get asked to draw dogs or cats, and getting a bunny is something a bit more unusual. I'm definitely very happy to have been given this opportunity. I really love exotic animals, and I guess I don't really get called to do them very often. One of the questions that I got during the online market as well was just whether it's possible or too difficult to actually paint a white furry animal in watercolor. But I have to say it's actually probably one of my favorite things to do. You can see right here that as I'm working, there's a bit of a very light gray wash that I've laid down already. I'm just kind of making bits of it darker, and that's really how watercolors works. And also being a white bunny, believe it or not, I'm not even using any gray paint in this painting of mine. You're going to see me just really restrict my palette to 3 colors. The first wash was violet. What I'm applying now is actually an indigo. And the brownish areas you might have seen me putting some details in with, that's actually raw umber. So here I go, kind of always adding and making certain areas darker, certain areas darker. Sometimes you see me putting down what looks like really dark colored blobs of color, and then as I work my brush in, it gets a bit lighter, it gets a bit more textured. So I honestly feel that watercolor is brilliant for doing furry animals, if we're doing white furry animals. And of course, as I mentioned, this is a white bunny, and I'm just using all these blues, purples, and browns in there. What's going to make it really obvious later on that it is a white rabbit is when I put in that dark color in the eye. It's really going to make that white first pop. And you're going to see that in just a short while. I'm adding the eye in now. And yeah, just keep watching. So at this point of the painting, I do consider it about 80% done. And again, with watercolors, you are working the colors darker and darker and darker. But of course, what I like at this point is that I've already got the eye in, and it really makes now the rest of the fur look pretty white. And so now I'm making the nose a bit more brown than blue, adding in the other texture and details to the face, which is why really at this point it's really getting there. I'm working very closely with the photograph. What you can't see that I really want to include in this picture in the end is actually the bunny's very impressive long whiskers. So I might actually put a background to the bunny after all this is done. The sky and the day was actually getting dark, and I don't tend to really paint in the nighttime. So I won't be recording then either. But you do see me putting in the details of the face, really getting that bunny's character. And so when I work on pet portraits, I always ask for a few photographs for me to choose from. Because I know it's really hard to get your pet down in a good photograph. And having a few photographs really establishes for me what their main features are, where they might have their patches of color. And then if the photograph I choose in the end for your pet's pose and for its character actually doesn't show those details very well, I will be looking at the other photographs you've provided me in order to make sure I get those markings and those colors as accurate as I can. So for this particular portrait, I was given a few photographs, and for me, just the most eye-popping pose that I saw was this one where, it was really up close, and the camera's point of view was level with the bunny, if not a little bit, below the bunny's eyes. And it just made this little creature look so epic, so fierce, so, you can definitely see his character coming through at this point of the painting now. And so that was the one I chose. So even though the markings on the nose and on the ears actually wasn't very, very clear in this photograph, I have, I think, managed to convey this is a white bunny with, grayish brown ears and nose. And he's now starting to look like, epic warrior bunny. So we're getting there. Now at this point of the painting, I'm really actually going to an area that is not even in the photograph anymore, so I'm actually using other photographs of what the bunny's front feet typically look like in the same pose, and believe it or not, he just had his feet completely covered by his fur. The other thing I'm doing for this particular painting is adding some front shadows. There I am kind of removing my pencil marks, but adding a bit more shadows, adding a bit more definition, just to really get it, closer to the finish. And really we're 90% there now. As I said, I'm going to add a background later just so I can pick up, I can show off this white bunny's white whiskers. I don't think I'm going to be showing myself painting the background in this video, however. So this is Janet. I want to thank you for watching this far and for watching my very first video, kind of showing you how I work in my studio. Thank you.